Welcome friends, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the hangar, welcome back to Charlie Foxtrot Mike Victor uniform. So at this stage of the project, I thought it might be a good idea to do a bit of an update. Tell you how things are going, what we've accomplished, what's still on the list, and where I'd like to take this in the future. And I have to say, so far it's going swimmingly. We're doing really well. I've done most of the grunt work myself. I'm still working on the interior as I'm shooting this, but the interior video would have come out last week, I think. And by doing all of the grunt work myself, all of the jobs that don't take too much technical expertise, I've been able to save a whole lot of money. And I can take that money from my budget and put it into things that really matter, like safety equipment. So we're going to put in new BAS safety harnesses, shoulder harnesses, on an inertial reel, and I'll talk about those when we put them in and why I chose those. I've been able to upgrade parts on the engine that were super important to me, so we took the generator out and we put an alternator in. And up front we also changed the starter, which was a bit of a deal because we had to cut off a shaft inside the engine to make it fit. So check that video out if you want to see Chris doing something that he was a little unsure of. Now, back to the cosmetics and me doing it myself. That saved a ton of cash. Now, doing the pre-buy with Chris, spending 2 days doing that pre-buy was super important. It saved our budget, I think, because Chris was able to go through the plane and lay out things that we needed to do right away, which were mostly really small things like replacing the gas caps and redoing some of the safety wiring because it wasn't wired correctly. He also pointed out some things that we needed to do in the next 2 to 5 years, parts that wear out that are still within their serviceable life, but we should be thinking forward to. And I'm going to do some of that this year just to get it out of the way, start with a clean slate. And also he started to make a list of things that were safety related that we probably should do right away. Not necessary, but we should do. And so that is new safety harnesses. We're going to put in the BAS safety harnesses, like I mentioned. We're also changing out the strobe lights and the beacon and the taxi and landing lights to LEDs. So those videos are going to come out in the future as well. Which brings me to the panel. Now, everything on this panel works. Most of the things on this panel came with this aircraft out of the factory in 1960. So the 6-pack is all original, unmolested, unchanged. The radio and the Garmin GPS, those were add-ons later. The Hobbs meter was an add-on later. For the most part, the panel is unmolested and works. And my dream was to put in a full glass panel before I even bought the plane. Before Mike Victor uniform was even on the radar, I was looking at what glass panels cost and what the configuration was going to be and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And I pretty quickly realized that of the big names, Garmin, Avidyne, there was no way I was going to afford it. And that as I looked at aircraft, I realized I was going to fly with a panel that was subpar, out of date, serviceable but out of date. And I've flown a lot of planes in my 25 years of being a pilot. I've flown a lot of planes where I really like this 6-pack arrangement. Super simple, everything right here. No bells and whistles, no extra knobs and fiddly bits. I really like that. And I wanted that in a glass panel. And I've flown in some home builds and some experimental aircraft that have the Dynon system. And when I started really researching the Dynon avionics system, I realized that their website is fantastic. It lays it out. There's a pricing structure so you can put in that you want a basic VFR package, and it tells you exactly what you have to buy and how much it's going to cost. And I looked at that cost and I thought, okay, so not this year. If I buy a plane, probably won't be this year to put in that avionics package. But I emailed them right away and said, I'm thinking about buying an airplane. I'd love to know more about your system, and do you have installers and dealers in Canada? And they came back to me right away and said, nope, we are not certified for certified aircraft in Canada yet. And so a little bit dejected, I walked away. Charlie Mike Victor uniform came along, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try them again. I'm going to see if they have a process in place. Are they trying to gain certification in Canada? So I emailed them again and said, look, I bought this plane. I'm going to do a YouTube series about rebuilding it. I'd really love to put Dynon certified avionics in it. And they said, well, we're still not certified in Canada, but we're working on it. And so I started emailing them and talking to them and really sort of cultivating a relationship around, when is it going to happen, and can I be at the top of the list, because I'd really like to get in there. And eventually they got back to me. So this was my first contact with them, was early spring. They got back to me sort of midsummer and said, we're going to make an announcement. Don't tell anybody, but we're going to make an announcement at Oshkosh. Certification is going to happen, and we should probably be able to start selling you in August, which I thought is fantastic. Things tumble forward. I'm looking at my budget. I'm looking that I have this chunk of money left in my budget, and my thought was that I could probably save and stretch and save so that next summer I'd have enough money to put in a very basic Dynon VFR package. And one of the things that I really like about Dynon, beyond their website, which puts out all of the prices, their sales brochure has these little cutouts. These are their instruments in actual size. And so you're able to cut them out and use them for planning your panel. And what I quickly realized was that in this aircraft, in this Cessna 172B, their larger screen wasn't going to fit. Behind this panel, there is a substructure that is part of the aircraft structure that you're not supposed to cut into. So it was going to be their smaller screen. And so I started cutting them out and laying out where I thought stuff was going to go. I kept talking to their sales department about what I was looking for and what the costs were going to be. And one day the sales manager said to me, you know what, I watch your cooking channel. I really like it. And I've started watching your Hangar channel. I really like that too. Would you like to be a Dynon avionics ambassador? And I said, yes, sign me up. I really like flying with Dynon. Anytime I've been in a plane with them, it seems straightforward. The controls are very intuitive to me. It's what I want to have in my airplane. I believe in this system. Sign me up. I will be an ambassador. So we came to an arrangement where I'm going to be able to put a basic Dynon VFR package in this aircraft. Only one screen on the pilot side at this point, but I'm going to leave the panel open so that I can put a second screen here. Again, the smaller screen. And I'm going to be able to do it right away. So over the coming few videos, we're going to see polishing the aircraft, which is one of the savings that is going to allow me to put this panel in. But we're also going to start seeing how we're laying out and planning this panel. Buying the equipment is the easy part. Laying out the panel is one of the toughest decisions you're going to have to make, toughest decision that I'm going to have to make. Where to put all of the switches, how to fit all of the gear behind the panel, and then the actual construction and installation of the equipment, the avionics, the wiring, putting in the antennas and all of the things associated with that. So this is probably going to be a 4-episode arc, at least, of the next 6 to 8 weeks of how we put the Dynon avionics package in this aircraft. So this will be, I think, the first, if not the first, one of the first certified aircraft in Canada to have Dynon avionics. I'm really excited about it. And I think we're going to be able to do something with a clean sheet that looks really fantastic. One of the problems that I always have with aircraft that are updated a little bit at a time is that the panel starts to look all higgledy-piggledy. Things don't fit together very well. You're putting stuff in where it fits, not where it should be, in order for you to be able to fly the aircraft effectively and safely. So I'm really looking forward to this clean sheet design. I'm excited. Come on back and watch as we put this in. I'm given to understand that it's probably 50 to 60 hours of shop time in order to install this package. So that's going to give us a lot of videos. So I'm hoping you'll stick around and watch as we put this panel into play. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.